Hello. Did you know that sleep deprivation can affect 1 in 3 people and that the condition can last for weeks, months or even years?
I honestly couldn't remember the last time I slept. It was so long. It affected my relationships with people, it affected my work life, it affected everything really. You know, I tried traditional forms of medication but nothing seemed to work. I even tried horse tranquilizers and that was fun, but all that really resulted in was just a 3-week bender. I'd lost all hope, but then I tried watching this, The Girl on the Train.
At least 60% of critics are in agreement that watching this film will put you to sleep within 20, some even say 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone with sleep deprivation really, because it's just such a boring fucking film.
So for your copy of The Girl on the Train, call this number now and say goodbye to sleepless nights. Do you know what time the buses run?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Shots Fired, the show where if you fire a shot, you take a shot. Today we're going to be talking about Middle Class White Women, the movie.
I saw her from the train. She was with this man. Just for a second.
That's right, and for those of you who don't know how this works, we'll take 1 shot for minor criticism and 2 shots for major complaint. And at the end of the review, we will judge the film based on our patented inebriameter.
So The Girl on the Train stars Emily Blunt as a stalker on a train, who vicariously lives through these people who lives in her old neighbourhood, and she gets involved in this intriguing mystery when one of the women she spies on goes missing. So, The Girl on the Train is based on a critically acclaimed novel, something which the film does not have in common with the novel. But it's fair to say the response to the film has been mixed, at best.
Well, at best.
At best, yes. But we have not read the novel, so we will be judging the film independently from the novel. We won't even acknowledge the novel exists.
This film was quite tricky to follow.
It was, yeah. I think there's a good way to do flashbacks and there's a bad way to do flashbacks.
Yeah, definitely.
They just did it bad.
Yeah.
As an example of a good way, look at Gone Girl, David Fincher.
Yeah,
Whenever
absolutely.
you have a flashback in that film,
yeah,
there's subtle changes to the lighting, to the soundtrack, to cue in,
that's right,
you into the past, and this helps if there's a scene change, for example, and you change location but you're still in the past.
It's a subconscious kind of like trigger. It's like, oh, this is different.
It's not jarring when.
And it's when it comes back in. It's when the flashback's over.
From the present to the past. Yeah.
That's it. But it's when the flashback's over and then it comes back in. That was my issue, because it would say like two weeks ago. That was fine. It was when it came back in and you're like, oh, so this is the present now. Okay, so this is Emily Blunt today. So yeah, for me, that's definitely worth taking a shot for.
Fuck it. I think a very big problem this film has is that it's just so tedious.
So when the murder happens 30, it might have even been 35, 40 minutes into the film, that's a lot of time for just character development.
I don't have a problem with slow-paced films, because there's a lot of slow-paced films out there that are really good, like Prisoners. But the thing that something like Prisoners has that this film doesn't is compelling characters and a compelling story. True. This film does not have that.
Oh, no, I don't. No, not at all. It's just dull. It's just a dull drama. It's more a drama with a murder mystery thrown in.
Yeah, it feels just as long as Gone Girl, despite being half the length of Gone Girl.
Exactly. So 2 shots for terrible pacing. So you mentioned a lack of interesting characters. You know, you can't help comparing this film to Gone Girl. Like I said, the girl with the dragon tattoo. There's characters in those films where, you know, they have wit, whether it's like, you know, there's dry humour, there's black humour. And I don't know how you feel, but for me, this film was just lacking of any humour at all. And I think that's probably what made the characters so dull.
I lie to Scott. I lie to you. I know that's not the point of therapy, but I have to keep things vague. When I met Nick Dunn, I knew he wanted cool girl. And for him, I'll admit, I was willing to try. I wax stripped my pussy raw. I drank canned beer watching Adam Sandler movies.
Not just dull, they didn't have any. I didn't feel they had much depth. You're given little bios about them, each individual character at the beginning. The main ones, the three main women, Megan, Rachel, and Anna. That's their names, I think.
Yeah.
My point is that these characters aren't damaged.
Yeah, they're damaged.
That's all they really are.
That's true.
That's just that's their defining character trait, is that they're just damaged. You don't really find out what they're like on their best day because they're always on their worst day. And as a result, you can't really connect to them.
Yeah, and then combined with these weak, bland characters, you've got this melodrama that just doesn't give up. It is just tedious. It's definitely two shots for being overly melodramatic, lack of humour, therefore bland characters. Fair?
Yep. So yeah, I made a joke in the beginning about how this is basically middle class white women problems.
That's funny because that's what
the movie.
Yeah, that's what the film should be called.
Yeah, that element really overshadows the main story arc, which is the reason why you come in, which is the murder mystery that's going on.
Well, that's it. You've got these clashes of like incredibly overly melodramatic kind of real issues, that do affect people. But there's also a lot of issues like, say, boredom, for example, that are more kind of like middle class issues. And with Gone Girl, again, I hate to keep referencing it, but that's how you do a film like this really well. With Gone Girl, there's references to things like boredom, and it's kind of like snarky about it, funny about it, and it takes the piss of it, whereas with this, there's just no self-awareness, there's no, like I said, no humour. So you're just watching these almost like vignettes in the first 30 minutes, I'd say, like 10 minutes of this character, 10 minutes of that character, and this one. And they're all just whinging about, I'm bored, I'm not fulfilled. And yeah, it's just tedious. It's just really, really boring.
What else was there? Oh shit.
You're just that fed up.
It's a good thing I've written everything down because I can't remember a thing about this film. Direction.
Yes.
So,
direction.
In a film like this, you can have boring characters, you can have a shit script, but sometimes a really good direction, really interesting creative direction can save it.
Yeah.
When Emily Blunt was drunk, he would do this thing where it was the focus was slightly off centre, the framing was slightly off centre.
Can you do that with the editing to do it as an example?
Yeah, I could probably do it.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, so go on.
Okay, yeah, and it was a reflection of her state of being, so that was clever.
Yeah.
But apart from that, the direction was so flat. It was bleak. There's nothing creative. I mean, wow, this director can really put a camera on a tripod. I mean, it was framed well, but and there were a couple of nice landscape shots every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just so bleak and drab. Personally, for me, that's one shot.
That's a shot.
The direction's not bad.
It wasn't the worst aspects of the film, which is worth commenting on. Okay, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Speaking of direction, show, don't tell. Yeah? There's a scene in the film, so spoilers from now, shall we say? Skip to the end for our final review of the film.
So we're going to put a time code somewhere around here. Skip to that time code.
So the example of the show don't tell is when our main character, she's lost her husband, cheated on her, left her, got married to someone else, had a baby with this other person, and Emily Blunt, she was unable to have a child, which was really sad for her. And she's on the train every day. She sees this woman out the window in this house, and she thinks, wow, she's got the best life imaginable. She's got a husband who loves her, and she's really jealous of her. But one day she catches her cheating on her husband, and straight away you see that she's hurt by this, and we get that. The character then goes back to Central Station in New York. She gets pissed, finds a friend, and then she has this massive rant in the toilets, pretty much explaining what I've just said there. And that just annoyed me, because that took up a good 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of the film. It was just totally unnecessary. So
it should be noted that in the book, the story is told through the first person perspective. But at the end
But
of the
I'd
day,
argue-
film is a visual medium.
Exactly.
So you need to adapt it
Exactly.
to a film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the only example of it. There was lots of other scenes where it's people monologuing about their feelings when we can clearly see how they feel.
Okay.
How bad does it ruin the
On
film?
principle, there were things in this film that annoyed me much more than that.
Right, fair enough.
So, one shot for
One
me.
shot for you little pussy. Go on. There you go.
Okay, so let's talk about the twist at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the husband who's the murderer.
Rachel's ex-husband.
Rachel's ex-husband, should I
That's
say.
the twist. It was
Yes.
Rachel's ex-husband.
Yes, thank you.
Who was
Yeah.
married to Anna. It turned out that he was having an affair with
Yeah.
Megan, and he was the one that killed her.
Yeah, that was great, and that kind of saved the film a little bit for me because I enjoyed watching that and how it played out.
But even then, it still fell a bit flat for me because this character, I don't know his name, but the husband who we just mentioned, he was so flat throughout the film, and then the twist was that he was an arsehole. I wasn't really given any explanation as to why he was an arsehole. He wasn't given much depth as an arsehole. He was just an
But is that
arsehole.
the point of the twist that it's kind of just sprung on you like that, like because you don't see it coming? For you, there needs to be more setup, more evidence.
Not necessarily, but I mean, when some, for example, in the scene where Megan tells the husband that she's pregnant and there's a chance that it might be his,
Yes.
Megan basically says, okay, so you can be as involved as you want to be.
Yes.
Like, you don't need to be. So she's giving him an out, but he's still
True.
being an arsehole about it. Just to an
So poor
unrealistic
motivation,
degree.
really.
Yeah, poor motivation. He's just
Why
such
would
an
we have to
arsehole.
kill her? Motivations in general, they're just inconsistent across the board. And also, why is she having an affair with her psychiatrist when she's having an affair with this guy, with that guy? Like, she's got a husband, or even why is she even bothering to continue the affair with the other husband if she's kind of with the psychiatrist and seems pretty content? Like, that seems to be the affair which she's most content with. It could be that we're just lads and that we don't get complexity, or it's just a case of just very unclear motivations. Would that be two shots for such a? For
Oh
such
God,
a
no! Ah, no! Don't make me. It's. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do this.
What would have been a better twist, I thought, is if it turned out that the whole time this Megan, the slutty housewife character, was actually having an affair with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Lying is like taking a trip.
Little engines can do big things!
How many other train puns can you mention? This film went off the tracks at some point. It derailed.
I mean, this film certainly ran out of steam. But hey. Right, let's get our final thoughts out of the way. Let's get the inebriator. Where is this fucking thing? It's on it somewhere. Where is it? Where is this bastard? Here it is. Here we go. There we go. Alright, so, George!
Yeah.
The girl on the train.
Well, let me be positive for a second because this was a really dire review, and I apologise if it was really boring to watch. I think you might like this if you're into those kind of dramas they put on ITV all the time, and they star like Sarah Lancashire or Saran Jones, those kind of dramas they do. But for me, this film was too boring. The murder didn't happen soon enough, and everything just, whether it be the characters, the direction, the pacing, the editing, it was just not a good film. I feel pretty merry right now. I'm going to give this film a 4 out of 5 on the inebriameter. Over to you, Alex. I'm out.
It was emotionally vapid. It was an exercise in tedium. No compelling characters, apart from maybe Emily Blunt, who I commend for her performance, because she really captured what it was like to be pissed. It's a 4 out of 5. I'm feeling pretty merry right now.
Merrily on our way.
And the only thing stopping me from getting completely wasted on this film is the fact that Emily Blunt turned in such a good performance.
Yes.
So George, so George, do you want to watch The Girl with All the Gifts?
Do you mean The Perfect Girl?
No.
What is this?
What is this?
The Perfect Girl. It's a book with girl in the title. Like
Oh.
everyone knows that girl in the title of the book means something. I mean, come on, like Gone Girl, Girl That Drank a Tattoo, Go on a Train, Perfect Girl. What was the one that you mentioned?
The Girl with All the Gifts.
Girl with All the Gifts. Like if there's girl in the title, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Cool. What's
Okay.
the Girl with All the Gifts mean? What's that about?
Well, it's about zombies.
What?
Yeah. It's about
Really?
Yeah. It's about
Why-
it's about the zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
Is that really out as a film?
Yeah. It's out right now. Yeah.
Well, why didn't we watch that one?
No! God, please, no!